No, no talk, but no one knows.
Cut that. When he had the ball at his feet, you could see his levels above.
Okay.
He spanked them. But I'm saying that there's only so much. He was the best player on the pitch ability-wise.
There's
only so much this boy can do. I thought you would have know him or heard of him because...
Put that closer to you.
This one?
Yeah.
Try to put this up, You'd have known him or known of him just because of...
I saw Reece Nelson the other day.
Yeah, I saw that. That's quality.
What
He must have been buzzing.
Reece Nelson was watching one of his friends play football where Carter was playing football. So after Carter's match, they was just so gassed to see him or whatever, so waiting outside the change room for him. It's nice. It was nice.
What was he like?
It was good. He was good with them. He was good, man. Had pictures with them, smiled up with them and whatever, and then done what he's doing. But no, it was good.
But yeah, on that final bit, I was saying that no matter how good the quality gets of Sunday, like it will never ever. I don't think it's ever going to
won't replicate it.
It's never ever going to get to Saturday.
No, that was I feel like...
No, because there was talk.
Sway put it out.
Sway started the conversation.
Some
is it?
Some of the teams would beat some of the Connie South teams.
Nah.
But like, listen, big up Sway in that, yeah. But
nah.
you know better. I
don't know if he meant the strongest. So if you put the strongest 11 that's playing Sundays to play against an average Connie South, I still think they'll lose.
No. Someone put it out
because organisation and blah blah. Obviously, I don't know half of
Someone
the
put out a Sunday League best 11. It's on Twitter.
Yeah,
and Calvin that posted it. Someone said, "Oh, right,
yeah,
you're telling me these boys wouldn't have done rare." But I think there's so many other elements.
But none of them were at that. Yeah, none of them were playing at that level for whatever reason. Obviously, we know there's a lot of factors.
Yeah,
but
of course. I think yeah, as I said, ability-wise, I think for some players at that level, they could showcase their ability in a more fearless way. But being in professional setups and semi-professional setups, there's so many other factors.
It's having to play within a team as well. Do you get what I mean?
Discipline and trying to adapt to certain things and all that. And like, it's even funny. Like I love SC Dons. I watch it, but like love JR. But so many times I hear man talk about the pitch. It's Sunday League football. And man are talking about, it's a nice pitch you can play.
Head loss. Head loss when I see those pitches. It's a head loss. You know them ones, yeah? Where, remember the first time I played with you guys team? It was cool.
Oh, that was a sick pitch.
Yeah, it was cool. I was like, right, it's got better. It's like,
standards nice.
Better, bro. The following week, I looked at the pitch. I'm already struggling to get up from it. And I'm looking at this pitch. I'm just like, nah, this ain't gonna.
That was our home ground as well.
that one down at, where was it? Down at Pinners. Pinners was the worst when HFC used to play. No, but I'm saying when HFC used to play there, it was terrible.
Oh, you didn't play that game.
That Peckham Town is.
Dulwich. Yeah, Peckham Town's got it now. It's in Dulwich.
No, Peckham Town's one side.
Village.
It's on the way to the sports.
Dulwich College.
Yeah.
And
it's on the right when you're coming from Dulwich.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Peckham Town got both. No, they got the other side as well. So on both sides of the road. The original Peckham Town was on one side.
Yeah.
But on the other side used to be where
Pinners
they played Brixton Summer League. But now Peckham Town got that. But they're doing much better. The pitches are much better now.
Yeah, man. But
Sunday League now, you'll never get to that level, man. You turn up, so it's man don't even warm up, bro. Like, it's so like...
Bruv, that's another thing. I try my best to warm up how I would warm up on a Saturday.
Yeah, you lot used to be busy on Wednesdays as well doing your warm-ups.
Yeah, I try. No, but you know what's mad?
I need it.
You know what's mad? I'd get up. I'm more up for it on a Wednesday.
Oh, but Wednesday was different. Wednesday was different.
Yeah,
football ever.
Than I would be on a Sunday.
Best football ever.
That was proper.
Yeah, Sundays are lovely.
You might need to bring that back, man. What's
the Wednesday? You know, is the pitch. We can't find the booking for that pitch. They messed it up, and then we can't. Tried to get it back the other day, and they were telling me about Sundays or Saturdays or something they had available.
What has someone just totally booked out Wednesdays all the time?
No, they done it. They started a league there, didn't they?
Yeah, but I don't think it went well. Basically, they turfed us, started a league. I don't think things went well. They tried to get us back. They tried to get me back, but I think
10:30 or something.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
That's
some stupid
late
times.
thing. And they're like, no, we can't do it. And then I saw someone that works there. I spoke to them. And they're like, Morris, there's no Wednesdays, man. There's nothing available. And then they tried to say that was Sunday.
That Wednesday was
Sunday
life.
or Monday available.
Wednesday was life.
No, that was the most.
Yeah, because everyone obviously you had football on Tuesday and a Thursday. It was perfect.
That's why we chose Wednesdays in the first place. But the only thing we can do is go outside.
Kept me sharp.
Go outside on a Wednesday.
I think that made me convinced that 9-a-side is the best football. It's better than 11. I don't know why. It's perfect.
Nah, it's fun.
No, but I think it was because it was
competitive.
It was competitive and fav. Oh, I used to love it, man. Anyway, yo, Counter Attack Podcast. Myself, Daps. I'm here with two very special guests. Oh no, you've been there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott's been there already. This is Morris' first time. I'm always asking him every week to come. He never comes.
It's his debut.
I'm here.
How you lot doing?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. I thought I better bring the old man, innit?
Yeah. Come and support me, you know. You know, you go somewhere.
I'm trying to talk like Will Smith now. What's up?
They see Scott and no Morris. See Morris and no Scott. There's always questions asked, you know.
Yeah, but you're always at the live shows though.
Yeah. They're like a bear.
Shout out
Like
out.
a bear.
Have you not seen Bad Boys, by the way?
No, I ain't
Nah,
seen
man.
it yet.
Still ain't seen
We got to go
it,
together, innit? We've not been free.
Stop it. But yeah,
Mike Lowry and them.
guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing. Seen it. I saw it in 4DX.
Oh, is it?
You know what 4DX is?
Oh, the wrestlers.
Huh?
Oh, no. Well, no, I'm playing that.
Is that the one that
seat
comes
will
out
move.
to you?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
all the stuff comes out.
Yeah, nah, sick,
Okay.
sick.
I saw, what did I see like that? I can't even remember what film it was.
I would love to see Avengers in that though. That would be sick.
Black Panther I watched on that.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
no, that's sick.
It's been crazy.
But yeah, guys, get liking, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. Feedback has been great as usual. Yeah, I really got nothing else to say about that. But yeah, where are we? Where are we starting today?
It's up to you, man. You're the
Huh?
boss.
Okay, cool. We're gonna start where Barnsley and Pogba. 'Cause I know that's what you really want to talk about. Looking at me like, oh, you're the boss. Barnsley and Pogba. For those that don't know, how would you guys like basically summarize? Okay, when I say John Barnes and Pogba, I make it sound like them two are like there's an issue between them. It's not that at all. It's more John Barnes, and it just so happens that now Pogba, the way he's spoken about Pogba this time has made it a thing again. Yeah. So basically, a lot of people that listen to this will already know, but let me just give a little bit of a backstory. John Barnes obviously has a lot of views which don't measure up with the rest of, you know, the black community. Let's just call it what it is. And I think a lot of people have a problem with the fact that he's the voice for like white media, and people take it as gospel. Am I right in saying that?
100%.
Yep.
Okay. And I think it was last week where was it Piers that said something?
I think McAteer,
No,
Jason
no,
McAteer
Jason
said something.
Jason McAteer.
Yeah.
Where I don't even know what he said. I feel like it was,
It was the
ages ago.
game.
Oh,
It
he
was
said
the
a lot.
game when, for starters, Pogba didn't play.
Yeah, but it's been like that for a couple,
and then he
like,
started.
couple months now.
He started dragging him, saying that he's got a bad attitude. He should be pushing the youngsters on, but he's not. He should be leading by example, and all of that. And that's when I think people started saying it was there's racial undertones, and that's when Barnsley's come out and said no, it's not racial undertones because he's got a bad attitude with no evidence.
And he was like, "Oh, you need people in your team like this." Milner, I can't understand Milner.
Yeah.
Lallana.
Milner, Lallana, and someone else.
To win things. That's what he said. Who
Henderson.
role models young people, and Henderson.
Yeah,
And he said, like, yeah, it's
the
crazy.
free English guys.
And I think what made it worse for me, I think another bit he said is, now you can tell why Fergie got rid of him in the first place all those years ago.
But do you know what's mad? When I saw that bit, yeah,
Fergie tried to keep
Fergie tried to keep him.
Bro, come on. You know, I was ranting so much, I was fuming. You must saw me in the group as well.
Yeah.
You know, but I was like, that actually angered me. And I think the issue is, I think when you have a platform, no matter what platform it is, you have a great responsibility. Yeah. And I think sometimes, especially in the football world, because it's so incestuous where like, because you're a footballer, you get an access to become a pundit. Or do you know what I'm trying to say? Just by default.
You obviously, you automatically know what you're talking about. Because you play football, because you're good at football, you obviously know everything about football.
You know how much people, or like how much jobs there are in football? Like people that really have intelligence around the game. Like if you think about Wenger, Mourinho, never played, but became managers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, and some of the best managers.
I think you study the game differently when you're not a player, to be honest.
Of course. So I think my first rant is really about the pundits and our selection process. And is there space for other minds to talk? Because if we did, we'll have more objective conversations and we wouldn't have people like McAteer having a rant. His rant was so based on just his own personal feeling. No evidence, no real fact, no explanations, no nothing. He might as well have been in the pub talking to his mates.
Yeah. But I think with the whole football one, it's more like, basically caveat what you're saying. It's so easy if you're a footballer, if you've been a footballer, it's so easy to just be like, okay, you could be a pundit. And there's not really a responsibility to actually talk sense. Do you get what I'm saying? And there's so many
evidence
people.
by McAteer, obviously.
Yeah, but it's not. Even if you just come away from that bit, like from Jason McAteer for a second, like when you see some of the pundits who are residents on our TVs every single week, like one that gets money. I'm so used to hearing him now that
I know he's.
Robbie Savage.
Oh no, I think I say Jonas.
He ain't got BT. He ain't got BT.
Not BT Sports.
Yeah,
About them.
not BT Sports.
I'm joking, man. I'm
I'm
joking.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, no, like so Robbie Savage is a poor.
But because he says it with belief and like he knows what he's talking about, people just take it.
And not only that, he's so poor that but I listen to him every week. I've got no choice but to listen to him every week. That now that's the standard. Like, okay, yes, this is Robbie Savage. Do you get what I'm saying? Danny Mills, another one. Like he commentates. I remember one time, they were talking about was Iwobi. I think it was Iwobi. Or Yaya Toure. It was no, I think it was Zaha actually. And yeah, that's it. So basically, it was when he was commentating on the match and he was saying Zaha should have played for England
instead of
Ivory Coast, and because then he would have had a chance at winning like real trophies and everything, like
real trophies.
Not like he said, I know he plays in the African Cup of Nations and blah blah blah, but he would have had a chance.
I feel like I might remember that.
Yeah, no, bro. When I heard that,
Wow.
I was just like, wait a minute. Do you know what I mean?
It's just so dismissive. But it's that whole mentality though, isn't it? And I think the society now as well. It's that we're the best. There's nothing else matters. There's nothing else going on in the world apart from what's here.
England's last thing was what, 1966?
Yeah.
Imagine that. You're talking to people who are like playing for their country. They actually win something, but it
doesn't count because it's African.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Crazy.
It's not good enough.
It's imperialism. So
Morris
the
is really
West
getting into that bag.
What's that?
You're getting into that bag today for imperialism.
No.
Cool. We don't use them words here.
Sorry. No, what? I'm just taking away from football. In football, we don't use certain words. I don't call it what it is. But I think sometimes, like, a comment like that can be made in isolation. And, like, some people might not even pick up on the tones that make sense of what it's about. So what you're saying is, like, what we do in the West is much more superior than everyone else is. Because we conquered you as well. So, do you know what I'm trying to say? So, like,
100%.
everything, like, we talk about football in isolation to the rest of society.
Yeah.
And we talk about football in isolation to the rest
evidence,
of the world.
Which is made evident by the whole racism in football thing.
Yeah. So, like, and I'm just jumping. So, what I'm trying to say, let's steep it, let's call it what it is. And, like, let's not talk about it separately in order for us to actually deal with the issues that are happening. Because it's not going to be dealt with when we deal with it internally. Because the people internally,
they have that bias as well.
they're going to have their own biases and so forth, which is evidenced by John Barnes. Like,
and they don't. I can't really see any like black pundits or experts that they get on who will say it as it is. Do you get what I'm saying? And they're kind of afraid of that. I mean, the closest you get from me is Ian Wright.
And he had an issue before.
The closest.
I think.
But I still have an issue with Ian Wright.
Don't quote,
So
no,
do
but
I.
I think he actually, remember he left Match of the Day and he spoke about it recently. He actually left Match of the Day for a reason because they was parring him and he felt a certain way.
He was
They kept
sidelined.
giving him certain things. I'll try to look for it and show you it. But
Serious?
yeah, so basically that's why, if you notice, remember he left and come back years and he's got a bit more respect with him now. But if you think about it, and it's going back to what you're saying, I know it's a bit weird, but there's no black people. Not no black, but you've got Ian Wright, then who? All the rest are young mixed race guys.
Yeah.
Coming from the game. Do you understand? Even if you think about it, sometimes they get Theo Walcott, Andros Townsend. You're still playing and you're still you're a pundit. Do you get what I mean? Because you're fitting the quota. You're who we want to get and blah, blah.
Jason Roberts had an
Jason Roberts, but
But
he's
the
not
thing
there
is,
a lot.
yeah, no, the
That's
thing
what I'm trying to say. He's not
Jason
there a lot.
Roberts,
Jermaine Genius will go in front of it. All these people will go.
Within the black community and whatever.
He speaks up
people
proper, yeah.
He speaks up proper. And he's known for speaking up properly. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think he's got one of his charities as well.
He's got Jason Roberts Foundation.
Yeah.
But even though they know, really and truly, especially when all the racism thing was happening, that's an obvious choice.
They
to
wouldn't
just,
call
to
him.
just go
They'll
and get.
call John Barnes.
But they'll never call him.
Because John Barnes is going to say what
They'll
they want him
they'll
to
call
say.
John Barnes to come and say, oh no.
To calm it down.
Yeah, and he said something. didn't he made a joke about KKK or something as well?
Bruv,
He was wearing the
this.
KKK.
Bruv,
He was wearing the thing at
Oh, so that wasn't a joke.
that was
Bro,
him
there's a
wearing it.
picture. There's a
He was
picture.
wearing it at a
Signed
fancy
photo.
dress. So someone said, "Oh, where are you in this picture?" He said, "That's basically," he admitted, "That's me." And he says, "Yeah, I'd go as Hitler as well. You've got to laugh at these things."
But you know what? No, you can't laugh at these things. And this is what I'm going to say. These
I
people.
thought that was a joke, you know.
That was him.
I thought he was trying to like banter whoever was getting into it.
No, I'm going to get into it. And I think like, big up Ian Wright, he's a legend and all that. But I think on him, there's things that like he talks up and he's quite upfront and stuff. But then there's something happened for me that kind of made me think like, do you actually get it? And like, see when, who did we play? England played like, I can't remember, what's the team?
Bulgaria. It was racist.
Was it Bulgaria?
With the racism.
Yeah, and they preempted it for the whole
Yeah.
week, innit? Saying
Yeah,
if it
yeah,
happens,
yeah.
we'll do this.
Yeah.
And the whole free strike thing. Whole free strike thing's a myth anyway. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't understand what, can you please stop being racist? And can you please not do this? And we're like, abandon the game. Like, let's have a stance here. So then whatever, the England players dealt with it in the way they felt fit. But there was a video that surfaced after, yeah. Right?
Oh,
he must have had a few drinks.
Yeah.
And he's like, can I swear on this?
Yeah.
I'll kick racism. Tonight, racism got kicked in his blood clot. I'm like, righty, you all right? Big man, like, real talk. What? See, as a black man, yeah, watching that, yeah, not even him, like how that whole situation got dealt with, I was uncomfortable.
It's nothing to be proud of.
Yeah, that's the one. I was like, right, like, I'm just watching, like, right, FA, UEFA, like you, man, do you actually really think this is enough? Or are you taking us for idiots?
It's
do you understand?
Sometimes it is to silence you, innit? It's to make you think, oh, okay, yeah, racism won. Or Ian Wright said we won as well. Yeah, haha. 5-0, we beat them. You're racist.
But he put it out on his personal thing,
yeah.
or it might have got leaked or whatever. But I'm saying, right, like that's your real belief here. Because he's saying you're not being a pundit, it's your personal video. You really thought that was a victory today.
I think sometimes if you're around, like you see, when you're around it, and like all the pundits are saying it. I don't know, do you start believing it, especially if you're not in reality? I don't know. I'm asking. Like,
I think as well, what basically when you're so like, imagine every day football's your job. Like you go into the office. So if you're one of these pundits, you go into the office and you know you're getting ready. They've got all these headlines. Everyone's got the same opinions and blah blah. Like that's your truth.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
For someone like us, who our truths are very different. In our everyday lives, we're not getting, bombarded with all of these same thoughts
Of course.
of, football. Oh no, it's racism's really working. They're gonna walk out. Everyone's like, yeah. Like we see things differently. So for him, that just might be his reality.
That's what
Do you
I'm
get what I'm
saying.
saying? It might be his reality. And you also have to understand as well, yeah, that his life is very different to ours right now.
It is.
And it's been that way for a very long time.
I was saying this about Barnsley, and I get it, yeah. But my point is, like, I won't go and talk on quantum physics because I don't know enough about it.
Oh no,
There's certain
100%.
things, and actually, no, that's a bit wrong. For example, what I'm going to say is, they experience racism, right? They experience like banana throwing and N-words and them ones, like standard. But they can read a book. Long story short, they can read a book. They can understand it, and they're put on platforms as like, oh, they grew up in the roughest time, but like we still experience the same things. When I used to play football for West Ham, and I was traveling to Chadwell Heath as a little kid, like 4 times a week,
Pick that name up.
bro. Every single. Oh, sorry, I dropped over there. I used to be good. But listen, real talk here. When man saying like, oh, like we had a debate in the group, I say, why is John Barnes? He ain't qualified, and I was just cussing him, and I'll get into why I was cussing him in a bit. But like, man, I'm like, oh, but he had bananas thrown at him.
Basically,
So
because
this is
he's
what-
experienced it, how can you tell him that this is what it was going on? Like,
but-
Morris, how can you tell him what he's talking about is wrong?
That's what, and this, you know what frustrated me? I'll be real with you. Like, what Barnsley done and his old behaviour, what he done is like, when I'm trying to say, like, you man, like, what he's saying doesn't talk for us, I have a white person telling me, how can you, as a black man, say that he's not qualified? Which
When he's had bananas thrown at him.
in the debate, because how everyone sees racism, if it's not the N-word or bananas.
But this is
then
what I'm
it's
trying
not
to say
racism.
as well. Like, it's so difficult to, and you get stuck in like two places. Like, do you continue to try and educate or whatever? But
Yeah,
ultimately,
I've done that for ages.
ultimately,
I'm giving up on
like,
it, I'm not going to lie.
ultimately, it's very hard to educate someone on something they're never going
That they
to
don't
be
want
able to.
No, that they don't want to.
to
That's the
understand.
problem. They don't want, if you,
No, I hear that. So
other side of
okay,
it.
so there's someone in our group here who I don't mind. I can talk all day. We all know who I'm talking about. I can talk to all day about it, like because he actually tries to understand certain things. You don't know who I'm talking about, right? Cool. He actually tries to understand certain things. There's gonna come a time where he's just not gonna be able to. So he can understand and try to.
It happened the other day, didn't it?
I think it did.
No,
I think it did. It happened.
Yeah.
It happened. Like, but there's always gonna come a point where it's just like, actually, no. You know,
there's always gonna be something you don't understand.
Yeah. So it's very hard. Like, so you can only go so far with this fight. Do you get what I'm saying? Because and where I'm at right now is that it's frustrating, but there's only so much talking you can do. I've been talking for how many years now? I've been talking. Nothing's changed. Like until people get it in their heads themselves, like or like really, really feel it. And unfortunately, we live in a time where people only feel what affects them.
Yep, 1,000,000%.
That was
a
a soundbite in it.
Bad,
Yeah, they only feel what, hey, you are. Yeah, but they only feel what affects them. So if it don't really affect them, they understand. Oh, yeah, I understand.
You understand as much as you need to.
But the only time change is really gonna happen is when it's like, hold on, no, it's
affecting me.
Yeah,
I agree and disagree. I feel like, well, I mainly agree, but we're all like that though.
Oh, 100%.
But there's so many things that happen in this world.
And that's kind of John Barnes' point. That's where he is right to an extent, where there's so many things.
That way,
no, but I'm saying there's so many things ingrained in us that we don't. Sometimes we'll react to things that we don't mean to. We think things that we don't mean to because of the ingrained. I'm only saying that's the only bit that he's coming from. That's what he's trying to say. He's just saying it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut.
I don't know what way he was trying to say. I don't know what he was trying to get. I can't remember what I was saying before.
No, but okay. To not round up, but John Barnes. I think the biggest problem I have with him is that he acts like he doesn't understand that he's got a voice. Do you get what I'm saying?
He does.
So there's no responsibility when it comes to the things that comes out of his mouth.
He doesn't really...
Wait, hold on. I'm not going to lie to you. If he was saying the sort of things he said and the only ears it was touching were our ears, I promise you, I wouldn't care.
I said that. I agree.
I wouldn't care.
But they take it as gospel because it's him saying that, black man saying it. That means it must be true.
That people might actually think in their head that's that unconscious bias or whatever that they're too afraid to say. But if John Barnes says it, then it's okay. If John Barnes comes, if all three of us go on TV and say, nah, there's a real problem with racism, blah, blah, blah. They get John Barnes who's had bananas thrown and he's like, it's not a problem.
Just shuts us down.
No matter what we think.
And that's why they do it.
But I think most of the time, it's not... People like him, to be fair, he put it on Twitter, so he wasn't on whatever, but people like him, they present the first narrative. They're the first person they're going to go to before they hear. So any counter narrative is difficult to shift, no matter what it is. Do you know where I'm coming from? Like, in regards to him, when you say he doesn't know his platform or recognise, of course he does. He knows his platform and he's using it in the best way possible. And to be honest, in his defence, even though I think he's a pagan, he actually says some good stuff. But I think he says some stuff that's really damaging. And the reality is, where I'm at with it, like I'd always have the conversation and try and like educate and share because I feel like that's how we learn. And sometimes it's going to be frustrating, but I feel like it's our duty. And I don't want to become as ignorant as others. You know what I'm trying to say? So you try. My issue with John Barnes really is that I don't feel like if you are going to talk on race, I feel like you have a duty to educate yourself outside.
Become both sides, yeah.
No, but I think educate yourself on the wider issues and think about how it actually impacts on all black people. And the reality is where I stand is where we have to understand race on all levels. So we have to understand systematic white supremacy as racism. We have to understand the unconscious bias. We have to understand the prejudice. We have to understand all those things and how they combine and come together, right? First and foremost, I don't think he understands that. And I also have to think about his perspective. Him as he was born in Jamaica and all that. Like, I can't gauge and understand his connection with home. I don't understand. He might be... obviously been in England longer than he's been home. Like, how did he see himself, his perspective?
He's touched certain privilege.
Him has a certain privilege. He's in the team. He played in an era where like black players, I think in his squad, that photo, right? There was like 3 black players in the whole squad. So he, back then, thought it was okay as a team outing to as a black man who's come from Jamaica, experienced banana thrown on your skin, rip banana skins on the pitch. you thought it's okay as banter to wear a KKK outfit to fancy dress. So you, and this is what I'm talking about assimilation into cultures. You as a black man, you have to take the mick out of your own culture in order for you to be accepted in that white environment.
Now John Barnes is all right. He's all right.
But did any of the white players ever have to do that? They could dress up as anything they want, right? But you think, for me to fit in and it's all banter, I have to do that.
Hilarious.
And the sad thing is that now, as a 50-odd-year-old man, you stand by that. So you've not shown any growth. So what you're telling me here is that you're black in parts. You're selectively when you want to be black because you don't feel our same oppression on a day-to-day basis. Do you understand?
Yeah, so it goes back to what Dapper was saying. It's not affecting you.
It affects everyone in a different way. It doesn't, it affects people in different ways, I'll be honest. I can't say them man like Ian Wright, John Barnes, they're not exempt from it. They just feel that they're at their level.
Yeah, of course,
at their level. But when you're surrounded in a certain environment where certain things are condoned, I think it lessens your... I think it impacts on your perspective.
So that kind of takes me to what I was going to ask you, and I think you're the main man for this question. Like, you see, people always talk about Pogba's attitude and then everyone else will say like, how is it racist? What's racist about it? Basically, show me where it's racist. And because we can't show where they say Pogba, the black whatever, doing this, that means it's not racist. Do you get what I mean? So I kind of want you to break down. I think Dapper will agree. You're a good person for this.
Pressure.
I want you to break down. It's like, why do they say he's got a bad attitude? Why do you think they say he's got a bad attitude?
No.
What is a bad attitude with no evidence?
I genuinely don't know. Now, I can't say what we can't account for is what happens behind the scenes, what we don't know, right? But what we say evidently is Pogba got a bad. But I tried to look at like, what has this guy done? I've searched online, I've racked my brain, I've looked at it. Like, and when I say what has he done? What has he done that's different to what any other player may or may have not done in time to warrant?
Because he doesn't seem to have discipline
criticism.
issues.
No, I heard things about like a bit of revolts from Mourinho's time where they might have been turning up late and little things like that. But it might be done on purpose, but clearly didn't get on with Mourinho, clearly was being targeted and bullied by the gaffer in a certain way, which we saw, right? Evidently. When I say some of the stuff around Pogba is steeped in racism, it isn't because McAteer is racist or Souness is racist or I think Souness might be. But I'm gonna take it. But I think, but I feel like something's being ignited along the lines, and there's some stigma attached to Pogba, which has racial connotations. But if we understood the racial complexities around those stigmas, then there wouldn't be issues in the first place.
Like what?
Let alone. So let me think about the criticism about this boy. Most of it was 90 million price tag. Not his fault. Nothing to do with him. Footballers have always been expensive. I looked at the top 10 Premiership transfers fees in our era. He wasn't much more than the second or third. I think the lowest was 60. So between 60 and 90, between 30 mil is nothing in football. So like the money's not like out of this world. First and foremost, I think they criticised him for dancing. The only thing I think was poor was that whole campaign, Pogba. I think it's just unnecessary, the dancing stuff.
Is that his fault?
Not his fault.
It's marketing, and you have to remember, and this is what I was trying to say at the time as well, the club made their money back within a week, just from marketing.
They've done the same with Beckham.
Do you get what I mean? So that fee went up that high because they knew what they could get it back.
But either way, as you always say this like, transfers fees and the business of football is not our business. So I looked at what criticisms there were of Pogba as a footballer. He walks around too much. So in that year when he done real well for United and a poor team, he topped their stats for like I think
everything,
tackles,
literally everything.
Running, everything, but topped it for walking as well. So what when I talk about like
the fact that they put that in,
but the fact is, but he's done well at assists. He's got the most goals. He's done this. He's done that. But no, he was the highest for walking. So no, in our culture, so I think there's a culture thing. In the British culture, walking's like negative,
lazy.
Right? And it looks like lazy and so forth. And we attach that to Pogba. However, if you're Messi walking in Barcelona or Ozil at Real Madrid, it's absolute genius. You know how much times when our pundits watch the foreigners play and they say, oh my God, he didn't even move. He stood in the space and done whatever. But if you're
someone else.
If
They'll
you're
take this more of
the
a
stigma,
negative.
if you're black flash Pogba, you're lazy, because lazy connotations are always attached to black people. Standard thing.
And for me as well, when they come with that whole his attitude stinks, he's not a leader and whatever, like they said that the other day, and someone put that video up
Of him in the front,
of him in the France changing room. These are World Cup winners, you know. You see me, like, I'm not the greatest Pogba fan, but I will sit here and say, in terms of ability, he's unreal. I'm just not a fan of his because
plays for United.
There's that, number one. There's the fact that he plays for United, and also I don't see for the ability he's got, I don't see him consistently.
More.
But then I was chatting to Fem. You don't know Fem, yeah. And then he raised a good point, and I've said this before, that it's very hard. Like, he goes, how many world-class midfielders do you know who are playing, who aren't playing with other world-class players? Do you get what I'm saying?
That's it.
And then even with that, he still he still was shining last year.
Of course he was.
Do you get what I'm saying? And like, John Barnes said something about, he hasn't won any trophies for United. Since he's been at United, he's not won any trophies and blah, blah. And I was just like...
At first, he said he ain't won no trophies. When people said...
I was like, Europa League.
Yeah,
and he scored in the final. Well, it don't count.
Yeah.
No.
It only counts when it suits you, innit?
The stuff that starts, and I think there's little things like, what it is the stigma of him being flash, but things like, oh, raw, he's got patterns, fancy haircuts and certain things. Like, it's mad. I went to school, St. Thomas the Apostle, Peckham won school. But you see,
beat us every time.
Yeah, we're full of ballers, to be fair. But we had a rule. So
full of ringers, you say?
Full of ballers.
Ballers.
Dixon.
Yeah. But you see, like, ruling our haircut, our haircut rule was like, so all of us all had pickets because your haircut had to be level 2 and the teachers had to be able to pinch your hair and pull your hair.
That can't be a real thing.
No, listen, I swear my life. And this is what I'm going to get to. I swear my life, that was a real rule. So if I went to school with a haircut like this, with a fade, we weren't allowed fades, I'll get suspended for 3 days.
Till it grows out.
Till it grows out.
Did that go on your record?
Must have. But imagine, if you look at the school as all the senior leaders in the school, the senior teachers, they're all white, middle class, male, men. What do they know about black culture? What do they know about haircuts? So if we go to a barber, our standard haircut's going to be a fade, right?
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that my standard haircut, I'm not allowed.
It's not neat enough.
But also, you can't have braids, you can't have dreadlocks, and you can't have a massive afro. It's untidy. So these are the sort of things. So patterns is street haircuts. So these are the things that ingrained in me. Like, I've got all these white guys who don't understand my culture, but suspect so all these black boys get suspended for school.
Your hair, you're street kid.
Yeah, I've got a great example of that. Sorry,
but so I'm building this. I'm like, hold on, I want through this experience. I look at all this stuff. So now I start reading into like, I was a bit older. I'm studying. I'm reading into like stuff that was happening with black people in the workplace. Their hairdo, how they have to assimilate to certain cultures. Like, if we're 2 black boys in the workplace here, say me and you work together, like, would you think twice about nudging someone in the workplace? Not you, because you're a rebel, but in general.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No,
you do.
But these things are real things.
And it's the same way that when I'm at work, there are times where, imagine, there's actually, this is real, where there's actually maybe about 5 of us in the company.
And all of you are together.
The moment 3 of us are together, we're the majority. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's all of that. It's all of that stuff.
And they would bring it up and they would say something. But if there's 3
and
white guys sitting down, you're not going to say, "Oh, you 3 to."
And not only that, I think in regards to Pogba, I think how it's so blatant is the fact that time and time again, he hasn't played since when?
He
played the Arsenal game, didn't he? Did he come back for the Arsenal game?
He's made 7 appearances this season. And
And
most
yet-
of them on the bench.
And yet, how many times has his name been brought up?
Mm.
And you know what? If he leaves United today, good. Lukaku, they did the same thing with Lukaku.
They've done the same thing, but I think he started getting penalised. So there's Pogba. There's so much in Pogba. See what I'm gonna say about Pogba. I don't want to drag onto it too much. So see, like things like blonde hair.
Guys, listen to this. We're gonna get to like Christian Eriksen.
We'll get there. We'll get
Probably
there soon.
not, you know.
But if you think about throughout the years, how many footballers, like white footballers, have dyed their hair blonde, and it's not a thing. Lundberg had that mohawk.
Yeah.
His hair was
Lundberg used to
red.
have different colours, didn't
Different
he?
colours. But you know what? It's celebrated because it's Lundberg and he's cool and he's a Calvin Klein model. So what I'm saying is, it depends on who you are, will impact on the stigma of your choices. But if Pogba does it with a little pattern and a little blonde, he's flash. and along with the other stuff. Do you understand? And why I say that it's racial undertones is because we accept a player doing one thing if they're white and not if they're black.
I remember
that's-
Rio saying something like that. When
So-
him and John O'Shea had the same car, but he was getting called
He's
flashy.
flash. All of them have. You see, even Sterling bought the mama house, and then Foden bought the mama house. But Sterling's flash for buying a mansion. But Foden's not even played as many games as Sterling in the league, and he bought the mama house, and he got celebrated in the paper. There's so many different examples that we can go to, and I thought it was really interesting because when Pogba was getting it last season, after he smashed it, got him won the World Cup, all that stuff. You know, he came back at the beginning of the season with just a plain haircut. Did anyone notice? Charity Shield.
I forget the World Cup would have been plain haircut, didn't he?
Yeah.
But come back. I'm saying, come back to the Premiership, plain. Because at the World Cup, his T-shirt was "Why always me?" Because you're onto me. Yeah, I've won the World Cup now. And he celebrated like "Why always me?" So when he come back, I noticed that this boy has cut his hair and so forth.
He weren't dancing anymore.
And what he done, and also he went and played 2-3 touch. He just popped the ball around, and also so what he's now saying is like, okay, I'm assimilating here. So what I just looked on a different level. I'm like, hold on, this is him coming into St. Thomas the Apostle and conforming and now getting a level 2 haircut so you don't get suspended, so you don't get in trouble. So you don't want to castrate me, right? So here I am. And that's why he played differently. And I'm being serious. But let's see what the top players in the world, Messi, Cristiano, I'm not putting him in that, but anyone like PLO, any sort of top player in the world, any player that's the best player in their team, even go to Sunday League like me, I'm the best player in my team. We all have big egos and all have to feel like a big fish in a small pond in order to excel. See Zlatan's ego thing, If he didn't have that arrogance, he wouldn't be as good.
Can you imagine if some of the things he says...
Don't even try to imagine that.
You can't.
Imagine.
It'd be impossible.
Imagine if someone said, to Pogba, I don't know, McTominay had a good game. McTominay can't talk to me. I'm the lion. He's like, can you imagine that?
But we celebrate it across the
Because
world.
he owns it.
We celebrate it across the world. Because it's just weird. It's
But
like,
the thing is,
go on.
what's the answer? Like,
The answer.
does Pogba just have to lead then?
Yeah.
But the thing is, if Pogba leaves, they'll
The
find...
next one's going to get it.
they'll-
Of course,
they'll
there's
find
always going to
someone
be
else.
someone, but
Do you get what I'm saying?
Eventually,
I think because of Pogba's profile as well, it probably makes it a little bit worse.
I tell you what I think will change. Will change it. I think if more black people are represented in these, with these pundits or whatever, like if there was someone to be like, when Jason McAteer is saying these stuff, they need more.
Someone
Someone could be like,
questions
actually,
that.
hold on.
Yeah, someone
what are you
questions
talking
it.
about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But it's like,
But that person would get in trouble. I believe that person
Yeah.
would get in trouble and shut down.
of course.
Like,
Or they'll let him talk.
But then you're not
But
coming
then-
back to that show.
Great example. And this person's not even black. Gary Neville.
Mm.
Gary Neville spoke about something. And he spoke, it was politics. He spoke about politics.
Yeah, and they
Do
shut
you
him
get-
down.
And they shut him down
Yeah.
for speaking his
Yeah.
truth. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he mentioned the society, didn't he? He said, obviously...
It was racist he was talking about,
Yeah, because
innit? Yeah,
he's
yeah.
basically
went into
saying
it.
if Boris Johnson, if you got the leaders of the country being racist, it's going to come into football. And that's when they was like, that's his views.
The views shared
his
by
views
It's Not
only
Sky.
and blah, blah. And,
Yeah.
and that is a part of the problem because, like I said, went back to Bulgaria. As soon as it's in Bulgaria, everyone's strong on it. Everyone said, they've got to be banned. They've got to do this. I'm not comparing it because there is a difference. I even argued with someone on Twitter about it. And I was saying it is different. It's not the same. The Premiership is not half the stadium doing it. Do you get what I mean? It is 1 or 2 people or a small section, whereas Bulgaria, half of the crowd was doing it. And that's why you can call for... I'm not saying, I'm not giving an excuse, but I'm saying there is a little difference. Do you get what I mean? So it's hard, man. It's hard.
It's all much the same, man. It's either you're with it. And why I'm so like, now, when you're saying I moved to a place, you either with it or against it. And I think you have to understand, and all of us have to really understand this. We have to understand the wider system in which we're operating in and what it is. Because we all could be complicit in some of this stuff, Like, people of colour are complicit in white supremacy and racism.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. Only because they don't know. So people like John Barnes, when he makes that comment, for me, he's being complicit.
Okay, so hear this. And we're going to wrap this bit up, though. But John Barnes, like, he don't know. But if John Barnes was to sit here now, and I wouldn't be able to have a conversation with him. Because
he's got his answer already.
number one, he's got his answer. Number two, he's actually a very smart person. So someone like John Barnes can come and tell you the history of black people in this country and whatever. No, I truly believe he can. Because I actually believe John Barnes is smart. But does he believe it is a different thing. And because he doesn't, I don't think he actually genuinely believes it. Or to be fair, I think he believes, but because he's so far removed, I just think he's so far removed from his
perspective. He's 1 foot in. He's 1 foot in.
I was gonna say
that's the difference. He literally is 1 foot in.
Once you're there and like I'm okay, it's almost like what you're saying earlier.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I can't. I made it. I done okay. I go into this restaurant and be okay. So why can't you? Do you know what I mean? That kind of attitude. It's kind of non-productive. It's hard because I was saying to someone I think yesterday, like John Barnes speaks for all of us, but does Piers Morgan speak for all of you? Do you get what I mean? I don't know where this goes.
And I think the worst thing, I think by default, Barnes speaks for us because there isn't enough people that are speaking.
Yes.
With Piers Morgan, the reason why he doesn't speak for all white people is because you could close your eyes and pick any platform and see a prominent white person
willing to speak as well.
Willing to speak, but there's a range of views. You know what I'm trying to say from white people, so you can tap onto anyone. So Piers is quite high profile. We could X out Piers because we got rare. He can't speak to us, but we got X, Y, and Z. Sometimes, if we're looking in the football world, if I'm going to say Barnsley is speaking to me, can I honestly say Wrighty's speaking for me? Who? You see where I'm coming from? Like in the football world, it's crazy.
Ferdinand seems like he's been speaking well. Les.
But where is he?
No, he's the chair. Is he chairman of?
Yeah, no, he does something like that. But he's QPR.
Like Les is a G man. Yeah, obviously I played with him still, but Les is a G man. Like
another one.
Oh, sorry. But you see, it's first name basis. You call him Ferdy. You call him Ferdy.
You call him Leslie.
I call him Leslie. This quick, he was teaching me the header. Showed me the first team. Yeah, I was on his team. Innit? Like, look, son, his headers were brilliant, and he was tiny. I was taller than him. I was like 16, 17.
He doesn't seem tiny, does he?
He's not tiny, but I was taller than him. Bro, listen,
that quiff. The Tintin. It wasn't a high top, it was a Tintin.
Bro.
The Jermaine Jackson.
Yeah, Tintin, bro.
Man was breaking down the science of how to head the ball. I still can't head my turtleneck.
I just know he speaks quite, or he's spoken quite well on certain.
But do you know what it is as well?
But obviously, like you're saying, it's not enough.
But not enough. I'm saying like
they weren't.
He's working, so he'll speak in a certain way. But
yeah.
Why are we like when there's issues? We're like, Les is a G. Like, let's hear what Les has got to say on this.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he might. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but he might also just be like, it's rubbish because a lot of people just look at it and just think, especially if you're in it and you've got sense, you probably just think, nah, it's rubbish. You ain't getting me on TV to talk and blah blah. I don't know.
You're right.
But this will play out, and it's one that can go on for ages and ages. But I'm just conscious of the fact that Ericsson. Morris is still on the subject, isn't it?
No. I think I could be all day long, man.
Get Ericsson, if we got a rewind, we can go back in, innit?
No, I'm going to get this in. I'm sure we could tie this into this. Ericsson got Inter.
Yes.
Why are people calling that a bad move?
Because he's playing with Ashley Young, so man might... I'm playing. They're hating.
Bill came to the group the
people
other
are
day.
saying that it's a move backwards.
But I don't think it is.
I think my thing, and Ericsson's interview, I think when he originally said he was leaving, he said he wants to play for a super club or a big club. Do you get what I mean? And sometimes we get mistaken by things. We get mistaken by, they're doing well. This is a big club or whatever. I think Sarri come out the other day and said talking about Chelsea, like, Chelsea's got 20 years of history. I'm at Juventus now.
Yeah.
Juventus have 100. Like, this is a massive club. Like, this isn't even comparable.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So, like, we're looking at Tottenham. You're probably as good as Inter Milan or blah blah. But Inter are a super club. Like, Ericsson can walk around London and it's nothing. He probably won't be able to walk around. Like, if you're an Inter Milan player walking around Milan, you'll probably be a star. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, the club's that big. Like, the status of the club. Like, and I think that's what they mean sometimes by I want to play for a super club. Like, even moving to Manchester United, yes, they're lower right now. Manchester United are a super club. Do you get what I mean? And I think that's the difference that we kind of mistake where we put Chelsea, Man City, and these players like, they're bigger. They're not super clubs. They're not super clubs. Let's be honest. Tottenham are trying to get there now. Trying
to think. Yeah. But if they make a wrong move, so they had a squad to build on. Right?
Bro,
they had a few squads.
Tottenham, I truly believe Tottenham, like, and this is what I'm jumping here, but this is the thing that annoys me. On one hand, I'm happy that Mourinho's back in the game. On the other hand, I hate that he's I absolutely
scared.
hate it. But I don't think he knew how big a job that Tottenham one was. Because it went under the radar, just how big that job was.
You think?
And because
mentality-wise, he's got a lot to change.
bro, there's a lot to do at that club, bro.
The losers.
Can I be honest with
It's
you?
embedded in them.
My honest opinion about Jose, you might slate me. I think he's on a pension thing, but I think he's just cashing in. I don't think
He might
he's
be
just cashing in. I don't think he cares
He might
how
be cashing
big
in.
or small the job is. Maybe his ego might think I can make some change here. But I just personally think like he's a bit. I think he should have the timeout. I personally think he's a bit done. You know,
No,
not
no,
done
but
completely.
think about it. He had time.
Not done completely. I'm not saying like done, but for me personally, I feel like see the Jose, like obviously he's not at his peak no more. You see, like you think they want to look like done in Tottenham, like. I think he's just cashing in. Personally, I don't think he looked at Tottenham and said, right, in the next 5 years, I'm going to get this club to here.
You know what?
I don't know if it's the sort of project that he does.
But he's someone that could look at it like, you don't ain't won a trophy for this long. You're sitting on you've just got this new stadium. You've got the fans in now. You're becoming a big club. If I can come there and win a couple trophies with this already half-decent squad.
But this is
said
the
to them,
thing.
innit? Like the first time he met them, like, do you want to win?
But this is the thing. He's probably thinking that. But I think now that he's got into that club, he's realising, like, Christian Eriksen, he probably thought, I can turn Christian Eriksen, man. Nah, he's gone.
He got Alderweireld back.
Yeah, he did get, but I think he's kind of past it now, you know.
Yeah.
I think
he peaked about 2 years ago.
I think if he wasn't past it, I think the options available to him in terms of other clubs, I don't think they were there. I think so. It was easy.
Weird that no one took the punt on it. It was 25 mil.
Yo, people been saying for like the last year or so.
Must have a bad attitude.
No.
That was
because even Fever said, because I said I can't believe anyone's not bought like Toby, and he was just like, nah, his best years are behind him. He said it confidently. His best years are behind him, and I was like, really? And he was just like, yeah. And to be honest, I see that even Vertonghen. Remember in the group the other day, I said, was he always this slow?
You said, didn't it? Yeah, I remember.
Was he always just like he looks like he's
it's an aging squad, innit? And they never freshed it up for 5 years. But that was a part of the stadium thing. That was a part of the stadium thing, though, wasn't it?
See before, going back. See like this is the first time I actually realised I rode the Tottenham wave. You know, you remember they had Raphael van der Vaart, they had Bell. Their team was sick. That team was sick. And you know what they done? They rode it to as much as they could do with that squad. Then he started selling.
When Bell left, wasn't it? Bell.
Yeah, but
Bell
why
had
you
the
even
big move?
like? It
Van
just
der
hurt.
Vaart
Like
was ready to go
he went back to
in Hamburg or something.
yeah. He's went on like. But I feel like if the club was building, like
but that's when you get. That's when you the stadium, innit? They chose the stadium.
They chose to say, but then with this team now.
That's why they bought the youngsters. That's why they bought Poch, and he had the youngsters coming through.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He built that team, but he didn't get. I didn't think he moved people on as quick as he probably should have.
Players,
yeah, like certain people
you know
when
what?
they wanted to leave. Like I think one stage Rose wanted to leave.
But
Carl
Poch-
Walker
but
left.
Poch even
blah
said-
blah, and he kept
Poch
them.
even said, this time last year, he said, come summer, we need to invest like
Massively.
we need to invest because the clubs. And it's not just that. Even if the players were all still at their peaks in terms of performance-wise, after a while of being at that club for so long, you're not winning. Like you just players naturally get to the space where they're like, I need something new.
And the thing is, we have to remember, the Premiership is elite. Yeah, so if you're a club playing against the same team 5 years in a row,
work you out.
You're going to get worked out. And I think that's what started happening as well. Like the Premiership is so deep, like the way they look into things and this person does this, they're good at this, they're bad in a second. Like there's so much detail.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? That you need to change things up so you're not so predictable. And they have become predictable because we all know. You stop Kane, like you were saying, you stop Kane or get tight to Kane or whatever, then he's going to have runners on him and then you're done.
And the people thought I was hating.
Or try to stop Kane. It's still not easy to stop him, but still.
I used to cuss Kane, but not like because he's.
I cuss him all the time.
No.
I think he's become a better footballer though.
He's a good footballer.
He's become a much better footballer.
100%.
Very good. His finishing, you can't even question.
What I've got to talk about is like, number one, how he was elevated.
It was
like,
the hype around it. That's
him.
what messed me up with it.
I weren't. And then I think, but also tactically, how teams are built around him. And I'm like, even Man City, Kun Aguero is like arguably one of the best in the world.
It's not built around him.
Teams are built around.
No,
never. I don't think it ever was. Really.
I think one stage he wanted to get rid of him because he wasn't pressing the way he wanted to press.
That's why I love Aguero. Innit? He changed his thing
and
got better.
But even before Pep, I'm saying like when Pep stiff here, the team wasn't necessarily built around Kun.
I think Is that partly because, and this is a question, is that partly because they had many world-class players?
Who?
Man City.
No.
He came quite early.
Oh, even the
He
beginning
came-
stage.
I thought
Yeah,
Nasri
fair
and them
enough. I
man,
thought you
like-
meant
I'm
more.
talking.
Yeah,
even-
yeah. You still had David Silva.
No. But the thing is, even in the times where City were in that period where they never had those players, like Aguero has always been Aguero. They never ever built the team around him.
Yeah, he
Do you get
was
what I'm saying?
he was the goal scorer in that
And I was
team.
going to
Yeah.
say Harry Kane, and this is why, like, maybe I'll get jealous or hating. I feel like he's had preferential treatment in regards to if most strikers, if the team was built around getting the best out of you, they would excel.
They'd excel.
I mean, most elite strikers, anyway, they will excel. But I think it's really naive from the gaffer. I'll say this lightly because I don't have your sort of knowledge, but I feel like how they set up is extremely predictable, and when it doesn't work, it then isolates Kane.
Yeah.
And what he now does, he comes deeper. So I watched him play against West Ham, right?
Goes further and
He
further
was
back.
coming further and further back to pick up the ball.
That's what Mourinho used to do.
Which is the sign, right? But that was the sign of me not getting service off being isolated.
Yeah.
And so I know what you're
I
going
can't
through.
do nothing with the
I can't
service
do
I'm
nothing
getting.
here. So I know what you do. It's a cop-out, really. Because if you stand up front and don't do nothing, then you've had a crap game, you're not touchable. So then I come deeper because I can. And I see what he's doing. He's getting the ball, whipping it out wide.
It looks good.
It looks good, but you got on the ball because you need a touch of the ball, right? But then you're behind two
Everyone
midfielders.
else.
You're behind them. And how do
You're not
you
the quickest to
impact
get
the
up
play?
either.
And the thing about anyway, I'm not going to get into why he's not world class. I'm not going to even do that. I'm not going to do that. But
He's definitely world class.
I don't know. I'm on the fence.
He's 100%
I'm not
world
missing
class.
are you kidding me?
100% world class.
What's changed is true, but
I'm not saying no.
that could be
I'm
a
not
whole new
saying I'm not
podcast.
saying he's
Cool.
top of anything. Or I'm not saying blah blah.
in the
but
league.
Come on, man. Of course he's in the league. You couldn't name me like 10 strikers better than 5 strikers.
But I
doesn't
don't.
mean-
No, but I don't mean that.
Is there
he's
5
world
strikers better
class?
than him?
But I don't mean that he's world class.
He's world class.
Anyway, I'm not getting into this.
He's not
because
elite. He's not elite.
Do you know what it is?
We don't- there's a
Start
difference
breaking
with
it down.
elite
I'm trying to
and
break
world
it down.
class.
I don't want to get
world
into
class
it.
is
But in this world class football, he's world class, man.
In this, what everyone else is
for me,
categorizing.
yeah, for me,
how everyone else is categorizing,
yeah,
you can't.
he's not as
okay,
great
fair
as they
enough.
say, but
No, but-
yeah, he's definitely
Fair enough.
That's another debate. There's all the
I don't know.
categorization, how we categorize it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go on, what was you gonna say? You had a question for us.
Kane. I was going to say
We talked
something.
this before, Kane. We were talking about teams, about Mourinho at Tottenham, but I think about teams becoming predictable and quite stale. And I think
we didn't cover Ericsson too much. Maybe
Yeah.
we were talking about
We'll
Ericsson.
go back to Ericsson still.
No, I was going to say something about Kane just now.
Oh,
The lack of pace.
Yeah.
That's the only thing
No.
I
So Kane,
think.
if he was that striker that just, because I feel like he does too much. He does too much. Do you know what I mean? He's got enough about him to just get on the end. Obviously, he can get involved, but most
who
strikers.
creates for him?
Huh?
Who creates for him?
So this is the thing. If he was in a team like when he plays for England,
Mm.
I truly believe there's enough in England for him to.
He still does. He's got habits. He's still
No. This is what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
so if
I think
they,
that's the
so if they didn't build around him, like with all the other players,
He
they
could
have
still be
in
the
that
fox
team,
in the box.
Yeah.
he would still get goals.
Yes.
He will still get. You see,
Yeah.
Man City, how they play.
Yes.
Aguero can obviously do a lot more.
But this is your job.
Yeah, your job is to
We
score
don't need
goals.
you to do
You've
that.
got Sterling.
Yeah, we don't
there.
want you to do
Imagine
that.
for England,
Find the
you got
goal.
Sterling, you got Sancho, you got whoever, Rashford. Like you got all these players. You got Madison, you got Mount, you got whoever.
Find a goal.
You got all these players.
I don't need you to drop that.
I don't
yeah.
need you to do this. But what England still do, they still build around Kane.
Do you?
And
They do.
and I think he would get more goals. And people go like he's got a great goal scoring record, blah blah. But I think he
agree
would
with
still
you.
get the goals.
I agree with
I'm with
you,
you.
but I kind of think football. I was talking about this with Cheese the other day, actually. I kind of think football's changing though, where the goals are coming from the wide men. So the wide men are not defending. So like if you notice like Firmino's dropping back, Lacazette's he's sacrificing a lot of goals, and the wingers. If you notice, do you get what I mean? And I
like
feel,
Lacazette, by the way.
and I
just
feel,
wanna say
I think Lacazette's doing a good job. It's like selfless.
It's just the goals.
It's selfless. He's not toothless. He's not ruthless enough though. But I think he's sacrificing himself for the team. Like he's taking the knocks. He's
And that's
dropping
needed.
back. He's dropping back deep.
needed.
He's tackling like a deep midfielder or whatever. Whereas I think football nowadays, and this is what irritates me. It goes back to what you lot are talking about, pundits and commentators, when they keep on saying, I heard it the other day, the right winger needs to double up with the right back. Like that's not football no more.
That's
Do you get what I mean? Like it's because in their day, Danny Mills will be like, hey, get back. And, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
On his toes.
Realistically, nowadays, if anything, it's one of the centre midfielders that have to go across. Do you get what I mean? Especially, I'm basing it more on Liverpool, and that's what people are basing off and Man City a bit. But they'll have a midfielder go across because they've got another. That's why you have two pivots, if you get what I mean. So they go over.
Arsenal's latest games.
Poor team.
I think I have, under Arteta.
Which one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so basically, what you're saying.
Yeah, it's the pivots that are doing that
So a lot of
doubling
time,
up.
Like Saka,
Mm.
he went up a lot.
Yeah.
Of time. Xhaka
drops into that left back
Xhaka
spot.
drops in.
Yeah,
And
he's getting that from Pep. Yeah, that's
he's almost as if like he's a left back, but he's a centre midfielder. So he's covering those
and
areas.
That's what I'm trying to say. And that's kind of why, like you get your Sterlings, your Salahs, your Mane, and that's where the goal threat's coming from now. If you notice, the goal threat's not really down the centre a lot. If you get what I mean, obviously you got Agueros and you got people that still score, but I'm saying the more and more goals are coming from the wide men. I think that number 9 is becoming like sacrificial. Yeah, almost like a false nine. If it started from Pogba sacrificed himself a lot for Lampard to score. If you get what I mean, like he take all the knocks and then you have people running past you. Yeah. And I think that's happening. And England's tactic is kind of like that, but that's still 2 up front. You get what I mean? So you're doing that bit. I'm saying, but in a 3, I'm talking about where 1 drops and the 2 are going higher. And I think Kane is beginning to do that with England because obviously we got a lot of pace out wide. I
think in the last
tournament, again, it is like you're saying, like he's dropping so deep into. He's got the ability to do it. It's just how do we judge you from there? Do you get what I mean? Are we judging you on goals or as long as we're scoring? I don't care as an England fan. Do you get what I mean? I don't care who's scoring our goals. Please just someone score.
I just think for Kane for Kane to get to that level.
Where it's undisputably world class.
Yeah.
I think he's got it in him. I
think he's close, you know?
See, this is the difference for me. See, this is the difference for me.
No.
The way you're talking about, for me, as a striker, I need pace. I need a 9 with pace. So therefore, for me, he's never going to be that Aguero, that next level because...
No, but
can you take that man on to get a shot in and score? Can you do that thing? And I love a bit of pace. I love I think my strikers need pace.
Aguero is just
touch and go. He's not taking one.
Epitomizes clinical. Like, boom, give him one chance. And to be honest, Kane is a finisher.
Kane's clinical.
Kane is a flipping finisher.
But he's not. But what I'm saying, he's not got that stand up your defender, run past you and get a shot in. That's what I'm talking. I think that little bit of extra. That's what I'm talking about. That 1-on-1, take him on, get a shot in. That's for me. That's elite
I think that's what it is for me. I think that's what frustrates me. Because I see him add to his game of going backwards. When I'm watching him, I'm like, why are you not looking at how to exploit him behind?
Even more of a threat.
He could be... I don't know if it's him or his coaches.
I think it's the lack of pace that would always...
But it could be a fake...
Hear this.
Timing of your runs. Sorry to interrupt you. Timing of your runs. So that's the guy.
Rude was quicker than Kane.
No, he had a 10-yard burst.
Yeah.
I think
plus.
He's so sharp at 10 yards.
Plus, he was always closer to the goal.
No, Rude used to do the same. I studied Rude one time, and I was like,
"He'll get it, pop off."
And then
not interested. Yeah,
you know what pop off,
and it's waiting in the box.
Yeah. But he used his players to his strength. You know what? I watched what he used to do. Right, I used to love studying futsal. I studied forwards at the time.
But again,
Scott, let me tell you what he used to do. Yeah, he will stand offside. In build-up. He'll stand behind the defender.
And then come alive.
They're talking about, don't know where he is, whatever. Then he'll come, get it, but also he knows he's going to get the ball. He had Scorris in him, man.
That's what I'm saying,
So he knows he's going to get the ball. He comes, he gets the ball feet, touch, whip it out to Bex.
Yeah. And then
you know
get into the box.
He just made his way into the box. But he done this quite high up the pitch. Like what I'm saying is his intent.
Because he still knows where it's coming.
But this is like, what I'm saying, this is like, let's say there's a second phase of play. Do you know what I mean? Like comes up, he whips it out. And then he is pushing that back line on while them lot are doing their thing.
That's what I'm saying.
And then he might get back involved again. If the ball don't come in the box, he'll get back involved at the edge of the area with the little link-ups. But what I'm saying is he's manipulated play that we're going to advance. At the edge of the area, he still get the ball to feet or get in the little gaps to get shots off.
I get all that.
Or if not, he can get the crossing. And I think if I see that sort of intent from Harry Kane.
But my only point with that, is that's what I'm saying about football's changed. Who's he giving it out wide to? And who's going to cross it back in?
I'm not saying
that's what I'm saying. No, I know you're not saying that. But what I mean is, I just think football's changed so much that Liverpool do it, but it's not going to Salah. It's going to Trent now. Do you understand? But
it's different position players are occupying the same spaces.
Of course. But I'm saying it changed. I'm just saying what my point is. It changes, and that's Liverpool. another team. There is like
Okay, but
what winger is there nowadays that's out there to cross the ball?
For me personally, it's not even about the wingers. Yeah, for me personally, for Kane to get there, and I've said it time and time again, I just need to see him when it really matters. You know, if Kane was to score, Kane could score 30 goals a season. If he's scoring 30 goals a season, but then in the biggest games, he's not doing it.
I think that biggest one when he missed the big pen against
I'm not even mad about the
Liverpool to
pen.
win
I'm not
it.
even mad about
And
the
then,
pen.
but when it was to draw it, he's scored it or something like that. And I think that's a perfect example.
Against, so everyone's going to say, "Oh, he got golden boot in the World Cup." But then, if you look at the game against Croatia when you really needed him,
what's happening?
He weren't there.
You can't argue.
I got what you mean. He needs a few more big moments.
Great example. People always say he's had moments. He's had moments. Great example. They went to Juventus, Champions League, and they needed to win. Right? That game, that's the game where I need my striker. You know who showed up that game? In a split second, just like that. Higuain. In a split second. Because those are... But Higuain won't score as many goals as Kane.
Yeah. But again, he could with all that love.
Yeah.
Who? Higuain?
Yeah.
Where's
If he had
built around him in that way?
Okay, no, but I think now... Like,
No, maybe not now. But I'm saying Higuain was
love, innit?
fucking
At the end of the day,
dangerous
he ain't getting that love, but he'll score more important goals than Kane will. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think the Tottenham fans are hating us right now, but no, I hear you. I think the fine line is debatable.
I think that's because partly because they're not involved in that match week games. It's harder as well.
I hear that, but they are. They've had big games in the last couple of years. Yeah. Look at the game where they were in with to win the league and they had to beat Chelsea and they folded when everyone started fighting. Oh, very quickly while we're on Tottenham, why go on for Danny Rose?
What? He got bombed, didn't it?
No.
Am I missing something
here? Basically,
is he not one of the best?
I saw an interview in the summer and he was talking about there's rumours about him leaving. He said, I don't know why these rumours are coming up. I'm not going nowhere. Basically, someone in the club told me I've got to leave. There was no club there. There was no club for this. They're trying to get rid of me. I'm staying here to the end of my contract.
Wild.
He said, I'm staying here to the end of my contract. Whether I'm playing or not, I'm staying here to the end of my contract. Do you know what I mean? So Poch has been playing him still or whatever. He keeps on saying something about the club. Obviously, he had his mental health or whatever. So something's gone and it will be interesting. His book's going to be interesting. But obviously, Mourinho's coming and he kind of said to all of them, you need to sort your future out. Do you get what I mean? Obviously, he's going to be Mourinho and do whatever he's doing. Alderweireld, he's obviously signed his one. Ericsson said, boy, I'm bouncing. For me, I'd still play him.
Yeah,
I'd still play him.
I think he has to be on his job, though.
Chilwell hasn't been... All right, when I say play him, I mean as long as he's playing, play.
I think he has to be on
Chilwell looks very good attacking. I've not seen enough of him defending yet, so I can't comment too much, but he seems all right. Apart from that, with Ben Williams, I think someone mentioned him today. It's too early for him. It's too early.
It's he's right foot as well.
It's too early for him. Yeah, so was Dennis Irwin. That's cool.
He's right foot. Yeah, but you can't touch Dennis Irwin. Man like Dennis, bro.
No, I think he's just come at a good time. I don't think he's gonna make the squad or whatever. But if Luke Shaw's always close to the squad, and my man's in front of Luke Shaw straight away.
It's like a at United times, as soon as you made a couple of United appearances.
But that's what should have happened years ago when Danny Rose wanted to leave originally and they kept him. They should have took Shaw then because wasn't Shaw Pochettino's boy as well from Southampton? He won that busing, wasn't he?
I think there's limitations around Shaw. Like even the youth team coach. And
but they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it.
He won't admit it. Like they said, when he was younger, he wouldn't play past an hour.
Yeah.
Fitness.
The whole thing about
I think wasn't Jim or someone saying that he's addicted to Coke or something. Coke cans, by the way. Coke, physical, like.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, physical.
Yeah, no,
they had questions about him. I think he must have been obviously heads and shoulders. Hence why he busted.
He just seems like a fanny to me. Like he seems like someone that's scared of his own shadow, scared to do something. Like, will never test himself. Do you get what I mean? That's what he seems
However, though, I think the way that Mourinho set him up, I think like he put him in the press right situation. The way he dealt with him, he just put it on him.
Wasn't there a manager before that as well? Who's someone else?
That's not, if you look at it, like so why people have always had the same kind of
so he's got a bad attitude thing. Has he got a bad attitude?
He must have
he must have a bad attitude.
No, it's Pogba.
I think it's Pogba.
It's Pogba got
and his brother.
Pogba's probably influenced him.
And his brother.
And he's not,
Pogba's influenced, sure. Probably.
That's what it is.
Probably.
Pogba.
Very quickly though.
Makes sense.
What are we saying about Klopp and the FA Cup?
What about it?
I think it's ridiculous. I think I
it.
understand it.
He might not make the game.
He said he's not coming to the game.
He said he's not going to be on the touchline.
There is, because there's a winter break, isn't there?
He gets 2 weeks.
They got 2 weeks off. There's a winter break this year. There's a winter break this year. We've got a winter break. Everyone's got a 2 week period. Yeah, everyone's got like a 2 week period where there's going to be like
No.
Say Arsenal, there'll be 5 fixtures one week.
Yeah.
So like Arsenal might have their week off at a different time as Man United or something. Do you get what I mean?
But everyone gets
so
2
there's
weeks.
a 2-week period. I think there's FA Cup and Premiership. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
So there's a 2-week period basically where they're gonna get a break.
I think that's poor for
So
them.
they're gonna be off. It is, but it isn't because
I think it's poor for them.
Let me explain. Basically, the FA have said to Liverpool or to everyone that's got the winter break, you're not allowed to make no international flight because that's what happened abroad. They started having their winter break and then they're starting to go to Dubai and make money. Like I thought you lot need a rest. Do you get what I mean? But they've said you can't arrange no friendlies, you can't arrange no fixtures during that 2 weeks. So okay, we won't.
Politics.
Okay, we won't. Yeah, I've given my boys 2 weeks off. Then you've created a fixture in that 2 weeks.
I hear that, but and
It's FA
it
Cup,
sucks.
though.
No, but it sucks. But at the end of the day,
He should be there.
he should be there.
Yes,
to be there.
I think he's going to send the 23s.
I'm not saying
And you
he's
lot have got
team
enough
selection.
money to go and get your private jet or go.
But do you know what's
You
mad?
come and speak.
you know what's mad?
Be at the game.
Against who did they play? Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury the other day. Yeah.
They should have got rid of Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
So if they just done their job in the first place, they
You know what,
wouldn't.
the young
have.
boys
But
are alright, man.
that's like saying.
No,
But that's like saying, oh well, we fucked up. But if you done your job anyway, it would have been all right.
No, it's
you
part
can't
of
do
his
that.
job.
Do you get what I
Part of
mean?
his job.
No,
He
No,
should
I
be
agree with
back
that. Yeah,
again.
that's what I'm
He
saying. I
should
agree
be
with
back.
that.
At the end of
But
the day,
the FA have
if
messed
you
up.
wanna-
So
no,
they've
no.
got to take some responsibility, even if
Okay,
they pay
cool.
for his flight.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, if they've done the match now, for you to be like as a manager, I'm not going to be on the touch.
I think he's making a point. I think we've got to wait to see if he does
He's
it.
big time, bro.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I think we've got to wait to see.
You know what's
I
mad?
think
He's
but
proving
they
a point
keep-
to them.
No
No,
one's
but
going to say anything to him. You know?
they keep on
They
talking.
They love him. No,
It's-
they love.
it's a
They
bit-
love Klopp.
It's going back to this whole thing of like elitist as well, innit? I think him and Pep have been
Yeah.
calling for no FA Cup replays,
Mhm.
scrap the League Cup, and blah blah. And that's when people are coming out and saying like football's bigger than just the Premiership. Funny enough, they showed something yesterday. Shrewsbury have played 2 games less than Liverpool this
Oh
season.
yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
He said if
And
anything,
you,
they should be
and you
complaining.
lot are getting a winter break.
Yeah.
And you have luxuries and all of that. Do you get what I mean? And it is that moaning that we've got to do this, we've got to do that. We're flying over Europe and do you get what I mean? It's a bit silly and it's a bit elitist. But I don't. They definitely something needs to be happen. Like say something like they say in FA Cup. But yeah, you can't scrap the replays because again, a small club that draws with
Exactly.
someone and bring them to our home ground or. On the flip side, Shrewsbury, you now get to go and play at Anfield.
That's great. Yeah.
And what do they get? Do they get half? I don't know how it works with
I don't
thinking,
know,
but they
I don't
probably
think
get.
it-
They'll get a percentage of. They'll get a percentage.
ticket sales,
They'll
innit?
get a percentage of the
You know what?
sales
They get-
and all of that.
they
You
might-
get what I mean? TV coverage, whatever it might be.
You
You
know
get what I mean? And you scrapping that
I
replay.
personally think, my personal opinion, so obviously it's personal, right?
It's a
But
personal one.
It's personal, I think.
Imperialism.
Nah. Run down by Bill. Nah, I'm joking. I don't think
Those
there
that
should be
can't see, he's got his black fist up right now.
I think FA Cup replays, especially in the latter rounds, I think they're a nuisance.
I agree. I agree.
I think like the footballers, I think they have to like. There's so many games that they got. Even the lower leagues made a great point about transfer.
I think it depends.
It's a lot.
I think it depends who they're playing.
It's a lot. It's a lot of games.
Because if you've
though,
got
man.
it is
And
a lot of
recovery, and I
games.
think the turnaround is not
It is,
great.
it is a lot of games. So if you, I'm not going to say his name. I was talking to a Watford player the other day. Yeah,
Oh, nice life.
Who?
Oh, nothing. So.
I was chatting to him, yeah, and I was saying, I didn't mention his name, so I didn't really drop it to him.
The club, you dropped the club.
But he was saying that Watford away to who was it that they played? Tranmere. No, not Tranmere.
They lost the chance, man, didn't they?
Did they lose to Tranmere? Was it Tranmere? Oh yeah, because Man United didn't play. Yeah, he said that game was just, and he's happy he didn't go and play that game because
that was on. They played on the Tuesday night.
yeah, away like
Tuesday night
then-
in the Premiership.
but the thing is,
and then
if
the FA Cup replay on the Thursday.
But if that
or something
game,
dumb like
if
that.
that game was away to Old Trafford,
Yeah.
would he have felt the same about that replay?
I mean, no.
No.
And this is ego in football. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
like, them things do matter.
FA Cup's not big
The
no
truth
more.
is,
Let's be honest.
but them
That's the
things
truth of
no,
it.
but I think there's different motivations. What I'm trying to explain to you is like, as you said, if you're playing against Man United on Thursday in the league and whatever, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be playing at Old Trafford and I've got a platform and whatever. So that becomes your driver. What's your driver to play against Tranmere on a cold Thursday night?
Cold Thursday
away.
night. It goes the same as.
Mm. I was going to say.
God, I lost my train of thought anyway.
The snakes. Yeah, snakes. Next one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think there's different drivers. And I think
Snakes.
people might say ego, big
Keep
time,
the chin
whatever,
up,
but
man.
we have to be honest sometimes. Like, there are different drivers for people.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like the League Cup. No one's interested until quarterfinal, semi-final, and then all of a sudden,
Everyone starts
it's
playing
important.
their
No,
teams,
because we're close to this now, so we might as well start pushing for this. And the same as the FA Cup, you're
Ain't
gonna
that
play the
their
lower
strategy, though?
teams. No, but you've got a squad in it, so you've got to use your squad anyway. Yeah, that these people have a 25-man squad.
But I feel
Right,
like
use it.
I
That's
feel
what I'm saying.
couldn't Liverpool play the stronger team the other day? Because they went
They
straight
could've.
for the kids. Where's like
They could've. And then they brought-
Ox could have started. Like all that man could have
Ox did start.
I thought he was on the bench. I thought you could put him on late. No, you put him on.
No, Ox started.
I thought he was on the bench. Am I wrong? No, Jones and them boys played with
Jones, Carabella.
and Fabinho. And then someone
Oh
got
yeah.
injured. Listen,
What, Fabinho played?
no, but
Lovren
he's not
played.
much. They're
Matip
good, but
played.
not in the. I'm saying these.
Origi,
Origi played.
But I'm saying for me personally,
the new one,
every single player that like who's been on the bench, not been playing week in week out,
should be
should be
playing.
playing.
No. Of course. Yeah. No.
Makes
They're a
sense.
decent team.
That's what I'm saying.
Their team was good enough to win. But I'm thinking, like, oh, Ox on the bench. I was just surprised. I'm like, hold on, you could get the minutes. It's good for you. Why are you not playing? Did Lana play?
No, he was leading the dressing room.
Hey.
I'm thinking, Lana was missing, but you got all them man there. They win the game
And then they brought Salah and Firmino on.
for 10 minutes.
Aye, but listen, very quickly, yeah. Number one, I'm not having the Firmino Bergkamp shots.
No,
I don't understand it.
I'm not.
If I'm honest.
I'm not having that shot one at all. But
I don't understand it. He's a good player, but I
Firmino,
don't understand it.
honestly,
He's someone that goes back to like we're saying about would you be world class anywhere else? That in this Liverpool team, he's amazing.
I truly believe though.
How good would he be anywhere else?
I don't think he'd be as effective.
He wouldn't be amazing
unless
nowhere
he's got
else.
unless he's got people doing those same things. Like
Nowhere else.
Huh?
Nowhere
Nowhere
else. It's like Pedro at Barcelona. You know how good Pedro was
Yeah.
at Barcelona?
I know.
You had to put some respect on his name.
He just suited what they was doing.
suited their thing.
For me, I think he's a very good player, and I think he'd be very good at other places. But
I mean, he don't do it if he don't do it.
I don't think he'd be amazing.
He
I
don't
don't
do it
think he'd
for
be
Brazil.
amazing somewhere else. I think he's almost like he's a 9 that works hard that doesn't score enough goals. But because they've got Mane and Salah who's scoring
okay
so
now.
many goals, you don't. And I've always said that, Dan. You know that I've always said that. I said when you've got a
It's
striker that doesn't score, but Jogba, people don't even realize that Jogba didn't score that many goals
But he scored
because he scored
important
important goals. And Lampard was getting 20 a season
Big game
without
player.
problem.
It's always said this.
Do you get what I mean?
Changed, but
Game
back in the day, people used to get criticised
Yeah.
for doing the exact same
Because
thing
striker,
Firmino was doing.
yeah,
That was my main criticisms.
pesky.
Massive criticisms for doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Last one before we go. Grealish or Maddison?
Cheese and peas. I'm going to say Mads. He's a mad thing. Listen.
Who you said? Oh,
He's going to explain himself. Go on.
Nah. See Madison, yeah. The reason why I say this. Maybe also I've been watching it. I saw him see him a bit more in the Prem. Like, a bit more. And I think like, so obviously he's done it a bit more consistently. He's done the last couple of seasons, whatever. But even looking at this, I don't really get, but the amount of chance that he's actually creating, for even get this, the assistant, I'm like, hold on. First and foremost, I think it's criminal that he's not further up the pecking order in England.
What is that?
It's criminal that Mount comes
There's
in.
something in it.
we ain't even got.
Now there's something in it
We
with
ain't
him,
got
you
time.
know.
You know what it is? In fact, no, we ain't got time.
There's something in it with him.
No, we ain't got
Either
time.
he's
Something going
he's
on.
got an attitude or something.
Yeah, no.
Something's there.
You know what it is? He's
got
attached to like.
Man, them.
Yeah, he's attached to a man.
Serious?
What? That's Maddison. Attached to man. He wears all the Louis drips and.
Oh yeah, for
And-
real.
and-
Oh, that
all
was
of that.
like.
Yeah, he's
He had
man
the
them.
I
see-through
don't
thing
find
in
it
it.
on-
I think
Oh,
it was
yeah, the
see-through,
see-through.
Oh, that bag. That was worth however much.
That's all I know about. Yeah.
Nah, him. And
So he can't be a role model. And I done that thing about him in the casino and all.
yeah, look at that. Do you know what I mean? So
Missing the game.
I don't get me wrong. I do understand the looking into the background and looking at the person as well. I do understand it when you're getting to elite
but
levels.
they do it. They only do it for certain people.
Yeah, fair
With
enough.
the FA.
Rooney was banging old women in micros, bro.
It depends who you
do
are.
you get what I'm
Flashy
saying?
though.
Getting knocked out in the mansion, boxing with
Yeah.
Barsley and man.
It depends who you are.
It's not being flashy.
Bro,
It
It's
depends
being
who you are.
flashy.
it's different.
I know that,
it's
but
different
being
for
flashy.
different man. And at the end of the day, Maddison by far has been like one of the
I
best
think-
English midfielders the last
I
few years.
think-
How is he not playing?
I think Maddison, he just looks techie. Everything he
mad.
does is just
He's
techie.
got that. He's
and
got
I
that
really,
flavor.
I
to
really
it as
like
well.
him. And if I'm honest, when Grealish first came through, And it was kind of like the Kane
Just
thing
gonna
where they
say my-
kind of
my
push
point.
him so much. I
I
kind of
weren't
didn't
having
like
it.
him.
Yeah,
Do you get what I mean? I wasn't really having him.
He's
But
impressed. me.
watching him this season, he is a bad boy.
And
Like,
in a struggling team.
he's in
Yeah.
a struggling team. Sometimes, this is where I'm funny with it, because sometimes I think you can be better in a struggling team if you're the main man in that team.
Yeah,
Like, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, like Kane's scoring loads of goals in a team that's not even winning nothing.
That's
You
sick.
might not score that many goals in a team that is winning something because there's more, it's shared out more, and it's not so
I
important.
think
It's not so important for you to get the golden boot or something. Do you
Yeah.
get what I mean? But Grealish, where I think I'll go Grealish over Maddison, I think he's a better dribbler. I think he can drive a little bit more. I think he could take you
You
on
know
a
what?
bit better.
You're saying it's a bit. I was trying to think about it.
You know
but
what?
I didn't want to argue.
No,
Out wide, from
no.
wide,
Do you know what it is?
anyway.
Do you know what it is with me? At the beginning of the season, like you, I would have just said Madison.
Oh, I was 100%
all day long.
Maddison.
I still say Madison.
Yeah, I'd
but,
say both of them ahead of Mount, by
But
the way.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Grealish, he is a madness. But for
He's got
me,
the cockiness as well.
yeah, he's got that arrogance.
He's got that little
yeah.
arrogance.
But hello.
How are you, man? You man are like Barnes.
No.
No, how are you celebrating that? Because Pogba's not allowed to do that. Because Pogba's flash.
No, but I like
I
it.
don't dislike
I
him
like it in
for
Pogba.
it.
I'm just like, this is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
No, yeah, of
The
course.
reinforcement.
I told you
People
we'd
How
bring it
and
back.
this
how
is,
we
this is where
celebrating
his,
it
no,
in
this
certain
is where
man.
his is cocky. And his,
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? It's cocky and he's not arrogant.
But
Yeah.
like,
Pogba, when you're black, you're arrogant with it. Do you understand?
100%.
That's the difference. But he's
He's
got
done
that
nothing but
little
dance,
cockiness. And
but I think though, for me,
sweets
you know,
outside.
Maddison, he's
Come back for these sweets.
number one. He's done it in the Prem for
Yeah.
however thing. Number two,
it's only a second season.
Bro, he's
yeah, but
created so much
it's one more
opportunities.
season more than
No,
Grealish.
Grealish has
Do you get-
played.
and
Grealish
he's
has
doing
played a
it.
season in the Premier before they went down. I swear he went down with them.
Yeah, was he?
I'm not
was
saying
he,
he
was he,
smashed
was he
it, but
these
he
levels?
was still.
Was he these levels?
No, not these levels, but
Yeah.
he wasn't old enough. But
No, but
I'm judging because he's a young boy.
okay,
But-
fair enough.
but
Fair
also-
enough.
I mean,
Like,
honestly.
no, but
yeah,
also,
go on.
Leicester, as good as they are, they're what, second or third right now.
Right.
As good as they are, Maddison is an integral part of that. Do you get what I'm saying? And I've seen so many times where there's a bad boy player playing a Leicester team, but he's like the big fish in the
Yeah.
small pond. So I'm not saying for me to rate Grealish over. He's got to go to a top 16, but I just need to see him in a better team.
I think Maddison might be a better 10, but I think out wide, I think Grealish is definitely. I think Grealish offers that bit more.
I just think Maddison's a better footballer.
Fair. I'll
I just
give
think
you
he's
that.
a better
I'll
footballer.
give you that. But
Mads needs to be in that England team.
I think I'd take both of them. I
Yeah.
really would. I
Why
really
do we,
would.
yeah,
I
we
don't-
make it divisive,
I
like
just
one or
think-
the other.
Yeah.
I just think they're
no,
so-
because the way England play, it's always going to be one or the other.
No,
I
you
just
have to
think-
accommodate the players, man.
I just think both they're so unpredictable,
Mhm.
but they're reliable enough now.
Yes.
You can trust them a lot now. It's not like they're first year pros. Do you get what I mean? They're experienced enough. They're playing and they're carried, like you're saying, they're integral parts of their team, so they know their responsibilities now. England's formation, and this is my one criticism of Gareth, is that
Dead.
he doesn't change that formation. He likes playing one with almost like two 8-10s kind of.
Eight and
I don't know what they are.
Look what he did in the World Cup. when
That's
he
what I'm
put-
saying. Put
was
Ali
it
and Lingard
Ali and-
as a free, because you've got. So would I play Grealish and Maddison? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't play both of them there with one sitter. But
No.
I'd play two sitters with one of them
If
in
we had-
there.
If England had
He's fine.
no, that's not.
French team.
If England had better defense, I would do that.
I'm gonna say, depending on who you're playing against. You know, you always say like,
Yeah.
Moldova.
pick your team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
playing
why are
against
you not
those
playing
shit
them
teams.
two?
Yeah, that's
And
why
also,
I always say there's
how
not
do you
one
know-
strongest
How
11.
do you know how they might not like alternate their game and adjust? Like what I'm saying is we're so divisive. Like it has to be
One or the other.
One or the other. We have this conversation. Can Lampard play with Gerrard? Can Scholes play?
Yeah.
Like, really, we need someone strong enough to say, you know what, Scholes is the best one out of all of you. Or actually, this is how you three to play together. Gerrard, you could hold better out of
And the
everyone.
only way it's
You
going to
do
happen is
this,
if
and-
you don't
and Lamps
do
go
it, then
forward.
it's not going to
You're
work.
playing.
So therefore, you're competing against each other.
Them three are the midfield three. In like, if it's
Yeah.
an Italian or Spanish, someone would have
You'd
made
play
that work.
Skull,
Yeah.
you'd make Skulls sit and make them two run
Whatever you do,
and just keep the ball.
either.
But
Or
they
Gerrard
like
be
the
sick as
long
well.
ball and yeah.
But you could, you know what I'm trying to say? There's ways to go around it. But I feel like in England, our thinking so narrow-minded. And hence why they love Southgate, because he's quite, even though he's been like, I think I've been critical of him, and I think you put me in my place one
Southgate's
time.
a bad boy.
No, he's a G-man. But what I'm seeing,
I think the
bigger
cracks are
picture,
starting to show with him.
I feel like, yeah, there's a limitation, but I think he's been a G-man in regards to he's doing the right things based on years of nonsense. Yeah, so it's refreshing.
Yeah.
But I think there's limitations because ultimately, I feel like there's still a puppet master above, and there's only so much things he can and can't
What I
do.
will say about Southgate as well, there, like what you just said, he's trying to correct things that have gone wrong over the years. But now he did well at that.
Yes. Now the next stage.
So now the next thing, I think he's.
I can work. I can.
Do you get what I'm saying?
This is the debate I was trying. This is the conversation I was trying to have in the group. When I weren't trying to cuss him, this is what I was trying to say. Like, is he going to win us the tournament? Like, is he?
I've always
what's he
complained about
planning
his
for?
in play. You don't know. I'm not really
And that's
happy
it.
with his
In-game.
in-game
And I think
management.
It's still that safe. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I like
the
what
FA.
he's brought, but
He's doing the right thing for the FA.
Yeah.
And I feel like, but we have
in a different way.
we have an opportunity now, to be like, oh, we're scrapping things for revolutionary. Like, we could have a squad that's going to win because the other squads are not really going on with too much. Where like England should be scared.
It's true. I know you want to wrap it up, but our strike force could be a madness.
Yeah.
Without Kane, with everyone just runners
Kane's
and
balls it.
scaring people.
Yeah,
You got
Rashford,
Rashford,
man.
Sancho, Sterling,
You know-
Tammy
You know when
Abraham.
Leicester won the league,
Mm.
it's not even that they had like the best like attack, but they were just a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The runners just.
that's Liverpool.
It's just
Liverpool,
okay.
just
Yeah, Liverpool.
non-stop.
Liverpool. Imagine that.
Not stop.
Imagine you got.
And we've got that
Vardy,
energy now.
Rashford,
We've
Sterling,
got that energy now.
Sancho. Hey, Sancho's a madness. Though.
We just need to bring that Premiership energy to
Shall I
the
tell you who's
World
madness? I
Cup
need to wrap up.
or
Shall I tell you who's
Euros,
madness?
whatever it's called.
That striker that they.
Haaland.
Oh,
He's come true. But this is we should talk about Man United today. I'm coming back.
you know what? Come back.
Dead club. What are they doing?
They should have got him. No, shall I tell you why they didn't get him?
Agent.
Yeah, that agent.
But Ollie spoke to him direct.
I got a funny story about that. Agent.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, hope you liked it. Thanks to the special guest, Malcolm X and. I can't. I've got to go cinema. Yeah. So yeah, Morris, Scotty,
It's been a pleasure.
love for coming. Come back. Thank the power.
QEP Newton.
But yeah, come back, man. Like, I'll come back soon.
Tuesdays is better for me, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I got training normally, so
We'll make it happen.
Yeah. All right, cool. But yeah, guys, we're out.